Imagine you are floating in space, completely alone, drifting toward a blinding golden ocean that fills half the sky. At first, it's beautiful. The sun glows like liquid fire, calm, radiant, almost peaceful. A perfect sphere of light suspended in the black silence. No sound, no wind, just a distant warmth brushing against your skin. It feels harmless. But then you realize something is wrong. You're not drifting away, you're falling, and there is no way to stop. The sun isn't just sitting there, it's pulling you in. Its gravity has already claimed you, dragging you faster and faster into its endless fire. And the worst part? You won't die quickly. At this distance, you still feel almost normal. The Earth is gone behind you, just a fading blue memory swallowed by darkness. Ahead, the sun grows larger with every passing second, its surface shifting like boiling gold. It looks soft, fluid, almost like you could fall into it like water. But here's the problem. The sun isn't a surface. There is no ground, no place to land, no solid anything. What you're seeing is the photosphere, a layer of plasma nearly 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot enough to melt steel instantly. But somehow, from far away, it still looks calm. And that illusion is your first mistake, because you're already accelerating. Faster than any aircraft ever built. Faster than bullets. Gravity is doing the work now. There is no engine, no thrust. Just an invisible force dragging you deeper into something you cannot survive. And it gets worse. Minutes pass. Or maybe seconds. Time feels strange out here. The sun now dominates your entire view. No longer a distant object, but a massive, overwhelming presence. Its light isn't just bright anymore. It's aggressive. It starts to hurt, not like staring at a lamp, but like your eyes are being burned from the inside out. You try to look away. There is nowhere to look. Light reflects off your suit, your visor, your own hands. It's everywhere. Blinding, total, and this is where things change. The heat begins to rise. At first, it's subtle, a gentle warmth spreading across your body, something you might even mistake for comfort. But that warmth doesn't stop. It builds and builds and builds. Because in space, there's nothing to block it. No atmosphere, no clouds, no protection. Just pure, uninterrupted radiation pouring directly into you. And your suit? It was never designed for this. NASA has sent machines closer to the sun than anything else in history. The Parker Solar Probe, humanity's boldest attempt to touch a star, survives temperatures of nearly 500 degrees Fahrenheit using a specialized heat shield. A shield made of carbon composite foam, designed to withstand unimaginable heat. And even that can't get too close, because beyond a certain point, nothing survives. Not metal, not electronics, not even the strongest materials we've ever created. So what happens to you? But that's not even the worst part. The heat is no longer just outside, it's inside you. Your suit begins to fail, not all at once, but slowly, cruelly. Temperature regulators strain, cooling systems overload. Your skin starts to feel tight, dry, like it's being stretched under invisible pressure, and then pain, not sharp, not sudden, but deep, spreading, unstoppable. Your body is absorbing energy faster than it can release it. You are cooking, alive, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. You are now falling faster than 100,000 miles per hour. The sun fills your entire world. No edges, no escape, only movement downward into something that no human has ever experienced. Solar flares begin to erupt across the surface below. Massive arcs of plasma stretching thousands of miles into space. They look like waves. Beautiful, elegant, but each one carries more energy than millions of nuclear bombs, and one of them is heading straight toward you. But here's the problem. You won't even feel it hit, because the radiation arrives first. Invisible, silent, deadly, high-energy particles slam into your body at near light speed, ripping through atoms, tearing apart cells, breaking DNA instantly. Your nervous system begins to fail, signals misfire, vision flickers, thoughts slow. You try to scream, nothing comes out, because space doesn't carry sound. And even if it did, no one is there to hear you. Closer now, so close that the sun no longer looks smooth. It's violent, chaotic. The surface churns like a storm of fire. Convective cells, the size of entire continents, rising and falling in constant motion. You're not approaching something calm anymore. You're falling into a cosmic hurricane, and it gets worse. Gravity increases, relentlessly. You feel it now, not as weight, but as pressure. Your body is being pulled unevenly. Your feet are closer to the sun than your head, and that difference matters, because gravity is stronger the closer you get. This effect has a name, spaghettification, and this is where things become truly horrifying. Your body begins to stretch, not instantly, not dramatically. At first, it's subtle, a tension, a pulling sensation, like invisible hands grabbing hold of you from opposite directions. But that tension grows, bonds strain, muscles tear. Your spine elongates under forces it was never meant to endure. You are being pulled apart, slowly, methodically, by gravity itself, and you're still not even there yet. The sun's outer atmosphere, the corona, engulfs you. It's strange, because despite being farther from the core, the corona is actually hotter than the surface. Millions of degrees. No one fully understands why. It's one of the sun's greatest mysteries. And now, you're inside it. But that's not even the worst part. At these temperatures, matter doesn't behave normally. Atoms lose their electrons. Everything becomes plasma. A chaotic soup of charged particles moving at incredible speeds. And now, so do you. Your suit disintegrates first. Materials breaking apart at the atomic level. Then your skin, your muscles, your organs, not burning, not melting, disassembling. You are no longer a solid body. You are becoming part of the sun itself. And still, you fall deeper, closer, towards something far worse than fire. Because the closer you get to the core, the less anything makes sense, and the laws that once protected you stop helping. The deeper you fall, the less you exist as something recognizable. There is no you anymore in the way you understand it. No skin, no shape, no boundary separating you from everything else. Just particles, once part of your body, now stripped apart and thrown into a storm of energy so violent it defies imagination. And yet, you are still falling. The light around you changes. It's no longer golden, no longer beautiful. It becomes white, then blue, then something your eyes were never meant to see. But here's the problem. You don't have eyes anymore. Not really, because at this level, even atoms struggle to stay intact. Electrons are ripped away, nuclei collide, matter itself begins to lose its identity. And this is where things change. You are entering the radiative zone, a region so dense, so packed with energy, that light itself struggles to escape. Photons. The very particles of light bounce endlessly between particles, taking thousands, even millions of years just to move a short distance. Think about that. Light, the fastest thing in the universe, is trapped, crawling, lost, and now, so are you. Your descent slows, not because gravity weakens, but because the density around you becomes overwhelming. You are no longer falling freely. You are pushing through something thicker than anything on Earth, denser than steel, hotter than anything we've ever created. It's not like falling through air. It's like sinking into an ocean made of fire and pressure. And it gets worse. the pressure begins to rise, not gradually, exponentially. Every inch deeper multiplies the force crushing inward from all directions. If your body still had structure, it would already be gone, compressed, flattened, destroyed. But even as particles, the remnants of you are being squeezed tighter and tighter together. Space between atoms shrinks. Movement becomes restricted. Energy builds because there is nowhere for it to go. This is the heart of a star. A place where the rules shift, where matter is forced so close together that something extraordinary and terrifying begins to happen. Nuclear fusion. Hydrogen atoms, simple, harmless on their own, are crushed together with such force that they merge. Their nuclei fuse, forming helium, releasing energy, an explosion on a microscopic scale. But it doesn't happen once. It happens trillions of times. Every second, all around you, inside you. But that's not even the worst part. Because you are no longer just falling into the sun. You are becoming fuel for it. The particles that once made up your body are now indistinguishable from everything else here. Caught in collisions, forced into reactions, torn apart and reassembled in an endless cycle of creation and destruction. You are no longer an observer. You are part of the process, part of the engine that powers the sun itself. NASA has studied this for decades. We've built models, simulations, theories. But no probe has ever reached this depth. Not the Parker Solar Probe, not any spacecraft. Because to get here, you have to survive something nothing can survive. And yet, in this moment, you are here, experiencing something no human ever will. And it is absolute annihilation. Time stops making sense. There is no up, no down, no direction, just pressure, heat, energy, endless, overwhelming energy. And this is where things become truly incomprehensible. Because the sun is not just burning, it is balanced. Barely, gravity is trying to collapse it inward, crushing everything into a tighter, denser core. At the same time, fusion is pushing outward, fighting against that collapse with unimaginable force. You are trapped between those forces, pulled inward, pushed outward, stretched across a battlefield the size of a star. But here's the problem. That balance is fragile, and if it ever breaks, the sun would change. Violently. Stars live long lives, billions of years, but they are not eternal. One day, the sun will run out of hydrogen fuel. Fusion will slow, gravity will begin to win, and the entire structure will shift. Not today, not tomorrow, but it will happen, and when it does, everything you know, every planet, every ocean, every memory humanity has ever created, will be erased, swallowed, consumed, and as you dissolve deeper into the core, you realize something terrifying. This was never avoidable. The sun doesn't hate you. It doesn't know you exist. It doesn't choose to destroy you. It simply is a machine of physics, a consequence of gravity and time, doing exactly what it was always going to do. And that's not even the worst part, because out there, beyond this star, there are things far more violent, far more destructive, black holes that tear apart space itself, neutron stars that crush atoms into pure density, gamma-ray bursts that can sterilize entire planets from across galaxies. Compared to them, the sun is gentle. Let that sink in. The thing that just erased you without effort is considered safe, normal, stable, and as the last trace of what you were dissolves into energy, there is one final realization: quiet, unavoidable, cold. The universe was never built for you. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't notice you. And it certainly doesn't need you. You were allowed to exist. Only in the narrowest, most fragile conditions imaginable. A thin atmosphere, a magnetic field, a precise distance from a star that could just as easily destroy you. Step outside that boundary, even slightly, and everything ends. Not with meaning, not with purpose, just physics, and the sun continues to burn. As if you were never there at all. And yet, the story doesn't actually end with your destruction, because something strange happens next. Not to you, because you are gone, but to what you became. The energy that once held your atoms together hasn't disappeared. It's been scattered, absorbed, repurposed. Inside the sun's core, fusion continues, relentless, unstoppable, turning mass into energy, releasing photons that begin an almost impossible journey outward. And some of that energy was once you. But here's the problem. That journey takes time, a lot of time. A single photon created in the sun's core doesn't just shoot straight out into space. It can't. The density is too high. Instead, it begins a chaotic, random walk, bouncing from particle to particle, changing direction constantly, trapped in a slow, suffocating maze. A straight line would take seconds. This takes hundreds of thousands of years, maybe longer. Think about that. Long after Earth has changed, after civilizations rise and fall, after everything you've ever known is gone, a tiny piece of energy that was once part of you is still trying to escape, and eventually, it does. It reaches the surface, the photosphere, the same glowing layer you saw from a distance, the same beautiful illusion that hid everything beneath it. And then, finally, it breaks free. A photon born from unimaginable pressure, from fusion, from destruction, launches into space at the speed of light. No hesitation, no resistance, just motion. 8 minutes later, it reaches Earth. It touches the atmosphere, scatters across the sky. Maybe it becomes part of a sunrise, a soft glow over the horizon, a quiet warmth on someone's skin. They don't know where it came from. They don't know what it's been through. They don't know. It was once you. And this is where things change. Because death in the universe is not an ending. It's a transformation. The atoms that made your body were never truly yours. They were borrowed, forged in ancient stars that died long before the sun was born, scattered across space, reassembled into planets, into oceans, into life, into you, and now returned. The sun doesn't just destroy, it recycles, it reshapes. It continues a process that has been happening for billions of years. And will continue long after everything familiar is gone. But that's not even the most unsettling part. Because if what you were can become something else, if your atoms can be broken, remade, and sent back out into the universe, then the boundary between you and everything else was never real to begin with. You were never separate from the cosmos. You were part of it, a temporary pattern, a brief arrangement of matter that could think, feel, and wonder, before being rearranged again. And somewhere, far in the future, those same particles might form something new, another star, another planet, maybe even another living being. But they won't remember you, because memory doesn't survive this, identity doesn't survive this. Only matter and energy continue, and the universe keeps going, silent, indifferent, endless. So what happens if you fall into the sun? You don't just die, you are unmade, scattered into processes too vast to comprehend, turned into energy that may outlive everything you've ever known. And in the end, the most terrifying truth isn't how violently the universe can destroy you. It's how easily it forgets you were ever here. The sun still burns, the earth still turns, and the light still reaches out across space, touching everything, caring about nothing, because the universe was never meant to hold you, only to use you. For a moment, then let you go.